Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Red Pill versus Blue Pill. My name is Dr. DeLon Canterbury, CEO and founder of Geriatrics, where we'll be discussing more details about deprescribing and how you can start leveraging your pharmacist or your healthcare team today to put the power of saving our patients' lives in your pocket. So, just want to let you know again that we are going to be launching our Deprescribing Accelerator come February. So, it will be a group one-on-one hybrid of coaching for practitioners, senior care providers, nursing homes, caregiver advocates, other fellow pharmacists as well who want to get into this space of advocacy and holistic approaches to minimizing harm in our senior patients. So I am excited again to present to you today where we share an amazing win that I've had with geriatrics and what I've had in my patients. And you will learn the secrets that I have used to help deprescribe and get people out of harm's way as a part of our accelerator. So today, I'm going to share with you how the tools and tips and strategies that I've used as a geriatric pharmacist, but what you can use as a practitioner or provider, which helped Linda, which we'll aptly name her since that's not her real name for HIPAA purposes, but she was saved from being involuntarily committed into a nursing home. And it was because she was brutally suffering from being over medicated and taking a ton of drugs that were inappropriate, not only for her age, but for also having some mild cognitive impairment. So, we're going to share more about that today. But before we dive into the secret sauce that we've used, I want to address some of the common misconceptions people are having when it comes to the power of being a deprescriber. And so, lo and behold, people just think you have to spend and invest 8 to 12 years of advanced medical training or getting a pharmacy degree. And mind you, that stuff definitely helps. Don't get me wrong, but that's not the end all be all to being the best deprescribing advocate that you can be. And so, a common thing I want to just throw out there is that you don't have to necessarily be a clinically trained pharmacist to be a deprescribing advocate. It will help, trust, but you can still implement some of the tools and tips that we'll discuss today that can greatly impact how you save lives and how you show up for your patients by going the extra mile. So it's doable, okay? Also, another misconception, or people believe you have to spend tons of money just to get the right personnel or the right team to address this issue, when really you can just contract out a little bit of work to someone like a pharmacist hourly if you need be, or repurpose your current staff if you have nurses, if you have potentially trained geriatric practitioners, if you have any collaboration, you can literally just repurpose them and integrate what we give you in our Deprescribing Accelerator as a guide and as a guidebook for you to put this into practice today. So again, you don't have to spend six figures and just blow your money on getting one trained personnel to make deprescribing happen. But you can work strategically with your local pharmacist or your independent pharmacist, or of course, use what we gave you in our deprescribing course. So again, you don't have to invest tons of money to make this happen or change your entire work structure, but you do have to start empowering and honestly educating your team so they see the importance of why this is a long lasting issue. And then another misbelief is that, well, it's not my problem. I'm sorry, guys, but nearly 45% of seniors are taking more than 5 medications a day. And of them, nearly 750 patients a day are being admitted to the hospital because of a medication side effect or adverse event. So that's 750 seniors that might be walking through your clinic or maybe leaving your pharmacy or leaving your office, and they may be in harm's way, and you see that they're on 10, 20, 30 medications. I'm sorry, but the cost ends up hitting you. You end up maybe losing a patient. You may be losing someone that's potentially giving you revenue for your service or your business. And you're losing that customer holistic care that we are sorely missing in our healthcare system. So it is your problem if you're seeing patients over medicated and you're not doing anything about it. If you're seeing seniors suffering and you feel helpless, I get it. It's a new concept to take home, but I'm giving you the cheat code. I'm giving you the tools to do this. So you're not going to leave someone again at the wayside of our broken healthcare system. So people just feel, hey, just tell the patient to talk to the doctor. That's ideal in some situations, but however, that still puts the onus from what you can do to stop the problem back onto the patient who's already overwhelmed with life, who's already dealing with what they're going to eat later. They're just not even quite focused on the issue at hand. And so when we start seeing other people showing that level of concern and advocacy, then my friends, we're going to be able to educate and make the impact more lasting than just passing the buck onto them to figure it out. So why are all these approaches wrong? Again, deprescribing is a team-based effort, okay? This is a contact sport. You don't just shoot one shot and you're done playing basketball. This is literally what we have to do together. So of course you want to leverage your pharmacists, you want to leverage your doctors, you want to leverage your nurses, your social workers, therapists, administrative roles, people who may be wellness directors, people who see these patients coming in and out. We all have to actively have our feelers up, like our blinders up, to be aware of the problem of over medication. We have to be literally on red alert. Okay. And that's why this is a movement to build an army to get people to see that it's more than just someone coming through your office or clinic. This literally has to be a complete medication mindset shift. Whether you're a clinician or not, we all have to nearly assume that everyone over 60 is potentially on some type of harmful medication, and we have to question if it's truly still necessary. So that, my friends, is the power that we give you through our Deprescribing Accelerator. So again, deprescribing starts with literally people advocating, literally just asking questions, right? And this is what I've been able to get my patients to do, and just tell them to ask the right questions. And not just ask the right questions, but give them the rationale as to why you're asking the question. And then express your goals vehemently. If you want to stop certain meds, have that healthy discussion, okay? So again, we got to get out this outdated way of thinking that has been pervasive in our medical community. And I don't blame them. They're trained to treat. I'm not going to knock someone for doing their job, but I am going to knock our health system for not giving people the space to holistically treat and to literally look at patient-centered goals and shared decision-making to make the best results tangible and achievable, and better yet, sustainable. So your patients are happy, your doctors are happy, everyone's happy, and then I'm happy because the patient's not in the hospital because of something that just fell through the cracks, right? Which is what exactly happened to our friend Linda. And we'll share more about that as well. So again, people still aren't using their local pharmacists or independent pharmacists at the top of their license, which is another problem I have with our healthcare system. Is pharmacists to this day are still not recognized as providers under Medicare and have very limited scopes to really bill for life-saving services that continue to save lives and improve quality of care and health outcome metrics. So again, there are pharmacists who are out there who you can literally use, contract with, talk through about deprescribing, make this a possible part of your business model, and hint, hint, make that a potential revenue stream. It is doable. I promise you. So again, people are underusing pharmacists. People are thinking that basically deprescribing just starts and ends all with the doctor. But we got to see it as a team-based approach. If the patient doesn't know they can deprescribe, if the caregiver doesn't know they can deprescribe, I mean, how is it going to start? Unless someone tells the doctor that it needs to start now, it's going to start. But you got to start with a team, and we have to do this collaboratively. Okay. So what are some other gaps in this thought process, this misconception about deprescribing? Again, people are seeing this as not a me problem, but I'm telling you, we're wasting billions of dollars from people being admitted or readmitted that come from our taxpayers, or they're dinged from healthcare systems because patients are not hitting their healthcare goals. We got to stop this, guys. We really have to stop this. Some people who see that there's an issue with the meds, they just feel powerless. They feel like they don't know how, they don't know where to start. They don't even know how to advocate. They don't feel listened to if they talk to the doctor. We're going to, again, show you ways to do this comprehensively and confidently so your patient's getting the best benefit out of their care. Some also don't notice that the power of deprescribing literally can save a life, which is why we'll wrap up our story today with Linda. But they don't see the money saved not only for the patient, but the money saved for the healthcare system, right? We always neglect the cost of inaction. We do it time and time again. We always, when we're looking at decisions to make, we don't ever consider the cost of not doing something. And that's really powerful when it comes down to quantifying cost avoidance, unnecessary wasted resources from your healthcare providers. I can honestly go on, but we have to see that deprescribing is going to improve your patient's quality of life. If they improve quality of life and you're able to successfully track those measures, you're going to build confidence in your community. You're going to build improved care. You're going to get better satisfaction from your patients. And when that happens, you're going to get more testimonials from your patients to their providers. Then providers might start thinking about maybe we should partner or send more patients your way. Again, we got to see this as a bigger issue. I know it's fragmented, but all of this stuff matters, all right? So using our Deprescribing Accelerator will serve as the vehicle of getting you from powerless and helpless to confident and fully able and motivated, especially to be a pioneer and a deprescribing advocate. We develop deprescribing modules that will help you enable and start educational deprescribing workshops for your staff and for your patients or clients or customers. We'll also give you the tools to provide team-based care. So how you can start thinking out the box and using other resources in your community to leverage and advocate for deprescribing. We also talk more about the symptoms and etiology of why polypharmacy and why overprescribing are such huge barriers when it comes to our senior patients. We then talk about establishing collaborative practice agreements, or at least potentially using this as a tool to streamline communications between different healthcare services and different healthcare or outpatient settings. And then we go further into the meaning of having certain geriatric symptoms versus having side effects. So we really dig down and fine tune a little bit of the basic drug info, but we go more into the beauty of why this is so important and why we have to see this as a tool to change lives. And then lastly, we show you how to potentially track your outcomes and learn how to become sustainable when it comes to deprescribing. So I'll tell you about Linda, who we use our deprescribing tools to help keep her family from being involuntarily committed into a nursing home. It was a pretty ugly court battle, to be honest. Half of her family gave up on her. They felt that she was just aging poorly. She couldn't handle living by herself. And they didn't think it was the medications. And in fact, only one person and her family thought it was the medication that was the problem. And it was her daughter. And that daughter was the very same one who hired me from geriatrics to do a medication review. And if you haven't heard this story, this is the woman who was on 36 medications. Is a 70-year-old frail woman who was on a ton of unnecessary therapies. In fact, we were able to discover that there were nearly, I don't even know, there were about 8 to 9 drug interactions that were significant enough to be indicative of her slowed mental decline and cognitive impairment, which she exhibited. In addition to being chronically irritable, being constipated, being angry, being described as a walking zombie, being literally just lifeless and low-key wasting away in her daughter's home. So we did the med review. We were able to prove and show that nearly about 9 of the medications that she was taking were contributing to her rapid decline in her cognition and brain function and being able to just be with it, because she was out of it and she wasn't happy. So we not only were able to do some simple tips that, again, you will learn as a part of our Deprescribing Accelerator, but we were able to present this information in the court of law, okay? And we served as a medical expert. I mean, I'm telling you, I was so nervous, but I was confident in what I had to say and what we found as evidence to her being over-medicated. I tell you this, we were able to defend the case and get the patient's case dropped, okay? They were trying to involuntarily commit her to a nursing home. They were going to seize her assets. They were going to seize her home, her bank accounts, and it ended up with it being completely thrown out because of the testimony that I had as a geriatric pharmacist and the advocacy I had for the family. So the kicker is, not only was the case dropped, but we were able to work with their provider and help to deprescribe some of those medications that led to her having such a poor quality of life. After a month and a half, her symptoms completely resolved, okay? It completely resolved. She's back to her normal self. She is now down to 8 medications. And again, we show you the tools, we show you the tips to get this amazing result. Not everyone's going to have you go to court, of course, but the power of what that med review did for this person's life is still reaping benefit for that family, who can now spend time with her loved ones, her grandbabies, go on trips. They just went on the beach just a few weeks ago after I spoke with them. So they're still living their best lives instead of wasting away in a nursing home. So the power is yours. The red pill is yours to choose. Again, I am Delon, aka Morpheus, but really the red pill is yours to choose. So I want you to learn more about our accelerator. Again, the deadline to enroll is January 15th. We go live February 5th, but the power is yours. And Linda, quote unquote, was able to maintain her quality of life and thankfully improve. So again, that was the story that not only made me and my basically notoriety with geriatrics, but it was God's sign to me that that is how I have to impact everyone in this space. And so that's why I'm here today. So I'm so glad you all tuned in to another episode of Red Pill versus Blue Pill. Again, I'm Dr. Delon Canterbury. Any comments, please make them below. You can type red pill. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts? I would love to get to know you and share ways that you can become a part of our Deprescribing Army. You guys have a great one and take care.